I'm working on my 2009 Chevy Cobalt, and today I'm going to be replacing the VVT solenoids, and I'm replacing both the intake and exhaust, which are right here. I have to remove my ZZP coil plate cover in order to access the 10mm bolts that hold them in. And then even though I only got a P0014 code for the exhaust side, I'm going to replace them both. So let me knock that out real quick, and a pretty easy job, just two 10mm bolts. Use a pair of pliers to pull up, of course disconnect the wiring by just pushing down the black tab and pulling up. There we go. A little bit easier to do with two hands, but I was able to do it with one hand. So I'm gonna put those in real quick, remove the ZZP coil pack cover, and then be done with it. You wanna make sure you clean off the area around that. You don't want any dirt or debris to get into where the VVT solenoid goes, because it can clog it up. Some of the symptoms for having a bad VVT solenoid are rough idle, poor gas mileage. Sometimes you can get a misfire. As you can see, the screens are very fine wire mesh, and those can get clogged up if you've done oil changes that go too long. You can get thick oil in there. You can usually change the oil and sometimes get the codes to clear, but that definitely means these are on the way out. This engine over here is one I pulled out of my Chevy Cobalt SS, and this thing ran without oil for I think like 10 miles or so, and it still ran, but the lady I bought the car off of said she drove about 10 miles with either very low oil or completely out of oil. So I'm going to pull one of these out and show you what the screen looks like when it's clogged up full of metal. I'll do that after the video, after I put these new ones in. So let me get started. All right, the current mileage is 362,371 miles. And this is probably the second time I've changed the VVT solenoids. I like these vacuum packed packaging. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is remove this ZZP coil pack cover plate. And I can see one of the bolts vibrated loose, so I'm going to have to get a replacement bolt for right here, because usually it takes 4. And I usually put these coil pack plates over all my ecotec 2.2 and 2.4 engines. I just think it really makes it look clean. It stops debris from getting down there. A lot better than the plastic ones that come from the factory, in my opinion. First things I'm going to do is remove this coil pack just to give myself a little bit more room. And you pull the gray tab out, and then you push down, and that just simply comes right off. A 10mm bolt for the coil pack. The biggest thing is you don't want any dirt or debris to get down into your engine from where these VVT solenoids go, because then it can just clog them right back up. Definitely get down here and get as much debris as you can out of the way. Two 10mm bolts, one right there and one right there. get a pair of pliers and just pull up on it, and it just slips right out. A lot of that debris right there actually came from when I pulled it out, but it's definitely getting old. Break the vacuum seal on the new one. And it does, you can see it says exhaust right on the plastic part where the electrical connection goes. And of course the exhaust one goes on the exhaust side of the engine. It just slips right back down the hole. Make sure it's nice and seated. Then tighten down the 10mm bolt. Then torque this down to factory specifications. All right, next I'm going to do the intake side. Pull up on it carefully, not to let any debris go into the engine. Some of that debris probably was clogging that up. Open up the new one. All right, gently slip the new one in without letting any debris get in there. And make sure it's seated. You can hear it kind of clicking there. Torque this down to factory specifications. Reinstall the coil pack. torque the coil pack to factory specifications. Rehook up the coil pack connection. Push down the gray tab. And you can tell it's color coded gray for gray. And then this one. Reinstall the ZZP coil pack cover. Two of my favorite upgrades from ZZP are the coil pack cover, the ZZP billet aluminum oil filler cap, the strut bar, anti-sway bar, and here is your variable valve timing solenoids. There we go. Let me grab my pliers. There we go. You can see all the metal that just got caught up in the metal screening. That is terrible. And that is what happens when you run your car low on oil. But you can get that same clogging when you go extended periods of time in between oil changes as well. So I recommend changing your oil. Personally, between 4,000 and 5,000 miles is perfect. And that is changing your VVT solenoids in a 2009 Chevy Cobalt. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.